Hello, Empowered Woman. Welcome to this episode of the Empowered Woman podcast. Today, I'll be talking with Vanessa Raymond. She's a seasoned international speaker, author, confidence and success coach, as well as multiple business owner. She helps speakers and leaders to improve their confidence, create meaningful relationships, and a powerful business image so they can be successful personally, professionally, and financially. Plus, she's a good friend and has an amazing life story. You will want to hear all about it. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Empowered Woman podcast, the #1 show on personal growth, visibility, and profit for women entrepreneurs. If you're wanting to start believing in yourself, giving yourself permission to succeed, and let your voice be heard to make an impact in the world as an entrepreneur, this is the place for you. I am so glad that you're here. My name is Marta Spurk, and I'm your host, triplet mom, woman empowerment coach, and all things motivation extraordinaire. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode. Hi, Vanessa. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Marta. So happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
So this is actually a second time trying this because we did record this interview, I don't know when it was, maybe October, November, I don't even know, of last year of 2021. And then I had some issues with my external hard drive. I lost 3 interviews. And now, months and months later, I'm in the process of re-recording them. Thank you for your patience.
Well, of course. I'm just so happy and grateful to be here.
Tech issues, right? But we make it work. And every time we talk, amazing things come up. So I know this will be just as good as the original recording and conversation. But anyways, for people who don't know Vanessa, and I'm just rambling here, I've connected with her. I feel like it's been a couple years. We met at a Gary Barnes boot camp. And we instantly resonated with each other with being from abroad, not being from the United States, and having big dreams and moving to the US. And of course, with the pandemic, not being able to see our family for a long time. Recently, I was able to visit. You were able to visit too, which I'm so grateful that you got to do that as well. But anyways, you do amazing work with women, with confidence, which totally resonates with me and what I do as well. So without further ado, welcome, Vanessa, and tell us more about you.
Oh, well, thank you, Marta. As Marta already mentioned, I am from abroad. I'm originally from South Africa, born and raised, and always had the big dreams, of being, I don't know that the dream was to come to the United States, but the dream was to be a performer, to be able to perform stages all over the world. And really, Broadway is always, as children, as growing up as a dancer, you always think, oh, I want to be on Broadway, So I guess the US was always there in the cards.
Right.
But, just growing up in front of mirrors, dance classes 5 days a week, I was a little nerd in school, played the piano, sang in the choir, did all the artsy stuff. Mm-hmm. I just grew up on that side of the track, I guess. Had a very supportive family. My family supported me all the way. I had so many friends that had dreams of being performers, but their family didn't really support that dream. So I feel myself very fortunate that I was then able to go to college and get a degree in musical theater. I majored as a musical theater major, and then went on to perform professionally for many years, upwards of, almost 20 years, I would say. But also that led me on a journey into the fitness industry, which is also something I grew up with. My dad was a bodybuilder, and, I used to go to the gym and pretend I'm his trainer. I'd have his towel and his water, and I count his reps. Anyway, but being a dancer, it was kind of a natural progression to become a Pilates instructor, which led me to do all the other certificates and things. So I started my own fitness business back in 2006, 2007, stepped into the entrepreneurial world, where I don't think I told the story last time, Marta, but, I also went through a period of big turmoil, went through divorce, ended up living with my business partner, and found myself sitting at a bar one day, 2008, 2009, with who is now my husband, telling him, how I was getting up at 5 a.m. in the morning, going training clients, just working myself naked to the bone, not really feeling like I know who I am and where I'm going and what I want in life. And he just looked at me and he was like, Vanessa, you are literally a doormat. You are letting people walk all over you. I'm not going to watch this continue. And that was a big aha moment for me. And I realized, and I think so many women can resonate with this, we give, we spin our wheels, and we get to a point where we realize we've lost who we are and where we're going and what we want in life. And well, make a long story short, I joined Achieve Systems. I started creating my own education. I started building my business in a big way. And it was super empowering to realize and also go back to all my experience in the performance industry, the years in front of the mirror, the ridicule going through audition from audition, the turn downs, and then also getting into the fitness industry and working with clients in the gym and watching them blossom and grow through the work that I do with them. And then becoming an entrepreneur and being empowered through learning what my abilities actually are and stepping into my power. I know you're all about empowering women. And yes, all the experience of all that brought me to where I am now, which is I am passionate about working with anybody really, but I really am passionate about working with women on their self-image and their confidence through some really practical tools that I share. And we'll probably talk about that more.
Yes, we will. Oh my gosh. I loved that it took a little bit of a turn there because, as you know, I love vulnerability and I love sharing some of the hard stuff because people look at you, a beautiful woman. I love your hair color change. You do so well. But I always complimented you on your hair because it always looks just perfect and right with your bangs. It's amazing. So people look at you, being a part of such a successful organization, which we'll get to in a minute. And they're like, wow, Vanessa's life must have been so easy forever, right? We have this as human beings, this tendency of always this is what I call finding excuses for people's success. It was easy for her. No wonder she's beautiful and, has a loving husband and a son and, everything's so easy for her. And then you come here and you share that there were ups and downs and there were many downs and many moments of rejection, many moments of confusion. And there were those pivotal moments where you were invited to make a change. And those are the moments, right, that we hold near and dear to our hearts. I love that story that the very person that opened your eyes is the person that you went on to marry. So that is so beautiful. Right. But I do want you to tell us a little bit about the cruise ship because that story, we can't pass up on that story. It's too fun.
Oh, yes. Oh, no. I traveled the world performing. So the way people always ask me, how did you end up in the United States? I worked as a performer. I was actually also an esthetician, cosmetologist part-time at the time. But I lived performance and I really, really wanted to explore the world. Growing up in South Africa, you know how it is, yes. Visas and all the stuff you need to be able to go to other countries. It just seemed impossible. But after putting that vision out there, how the universe works, I actually got a corporate contract in South Africa for a telecommunications company, their big end of year event. And it so happened that the production company that cast the show was located in Las Vegas. So I chose for this gig. I did this show, this big corporate event where they flew 10 of the dancers in from Vegas and 10 of the dancers were from South Africa, 10 of the performers. And I did this gig with them. And about 3 weeks after it was over, I got a phone call and they were like, well, we have a cruise ship contract. We loved working with you. We want to offer you, a place in this. And it was like a dream come true, literally. It was literally a dream come true. I was like, okay, here I go. Because I thought the only way I could get to the US or to any other country was to actually do a cruise ship contract. So I've been researching how can I get on a cruise ship, which was almost impossible from where I was, because you had to show up for auditions and stuff. I could send my show reel, but that would only do so much. So that was really heaven sent. So I ended up getting on a cruise ship, and I ended up staying for 9 years. So for 9 years, I traveled the world performing. I started out in the production cast, and then became a guest entertainer, which allowed me a lot more freedom, a lot more privileges. It was really just an idyllic time in my life. I always say I felt like I was on honeymoon for at least 5 years there, because, traveling the world, doing what I'm passionate about, love performing, and getting paid to do it was cool. It's really cool.
Wonderful. And the power of setting that intention, right? Of like, this is what I would love to do. Looked into it. It didn't happen how you were expecting or thinking, but it did happen. And
right.
Beautiful.
And back then I wasn't really in touch with how all that stuff works yet.
Right.
And I look back and I'm like, yeah, I totally made that happen. I totally put it out there, and by taking action and doing the research, and it happened, it was great.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the performer in you, because that's another thing that drew me closer to your story. And it's like, well, it's not only that we're from outside of the US, we have a lot in common with wanting to be in front of people. That is one of the things that I and I even wrote this in my book, that I kind of regret about my past, is that my parents never really encouraged me to go into like the athletics route, because I had lots of friends that played sports. My very best friend from childhood had a tennis scholarship to play and get her bachelor's degree at UNF, at University of North Florida. And I was like, I was supposed to be that. I'm the American one, the little American one. And then she did that. And it was kind of like the same situation of, I will never be able to do this, because my parents would never let me go and study for 4 years by myself in a foreign country. So my resort was, I'm just getting married, which was a bit scarier. But I had these big dreams for myself too, of being in front of people, of trying out different things. And I think what stands out for me about your story is the different chapters that there were. And I've said this before, it kind of seems like there were many lives in one life, which is incredible from the outsider's perspective. But it's also, I feel, fulfilling when you look back, but also very taxing, because you may feel confused, like, I've done so much. Who am I? What am I really good at?
Right. That was part of the contention, when I was sitting with Rob at that bar in Vegas, and I had just started my own business, which I had no clue what I was doing. I think one of the things I said to him was, I have lived my dreams, and now what? I got to a point where I had identified so strongly with what I did for a living. It was so difficult for me to find the rest of me, or who I was supposed to become next, right? And I think everybody comes to those places in their lives where you're like, okay, so what is it I'm supposed to be doing? Who am I? What's my purpose? Where am I going? And I'm grateful for my husband, because he's the one that really helped me find clarity. But still, every time we level up, every time we expand, there's that dilemma. And it's actually interesting that we're having this conversation right now, because I just logged off with a coaching client, and we were having this conversation because he was talking about this battle he was having in his head. And I'm like, get comfortable with that battle, because every time you grow, that battle happens.
I know.
It just does. You can't get past it, but when you stop looking at it as a battle and you look at it as growth, know that the only way to get past that battle is to take action. There's all this stuff, and I know we're talking the same language. But as far as me being a performer, you know my story of my voice. I've had endless problems with my vocal cords, and it really held me back from, in my mind, becoming the performer that I really wanted to be. So there was always that regret, when you say the regret, there's always that regret of like, I was kind of stuck in doing the dance roles because my voice just never lived up to where I wanted to go. But I think it's a big lesson because what I teach now, through having those challenges, that is where I learned, because I was never without a job. I always worked. Yes, I was turned down a lot. And I preach about showing up and keep showing up and keep showing up. It was because of my tenacity and the way I showed up. I always say the way we show up, our attitude, our enthusiasm, our light that we shine is so much more powerful than the actual skill that we have. Mm-hmm. It's important to be good at what you do. It's important to have the knowledge. But in the end, what really counts is really showing up in that empowered, fully present, confident way, even if we're not 100% feeling it yet.
Yeah.
That's the secret.
I love that. I guess I was going to ask you about Achieve, but since we're on this topic, because I know this is what you work with clients, and your background in terms of knowing about the body and all of that comes into play, and you teach them about the posture and how that can influence the way you feel about yourself. So it's an outside in approach, which I feel is so unique and so amazing when we talk mindset and helping people with confidence, because it's usually, oh, I'm not confident. Go do the affirmations, go listen to the podcast, blah, blah, blah. And then we do it and we still doesn't work a whole lot. But your approach is so different. So tell us more.
Yes. So for me, really, it is very important that you connect with your body. Our minds and our bodies are not separate. And what I teach, I feel, is so empowering, because you suddenly learn how much control you actually have over your feelings. And it's so simple. It's frighteningly simple, so much so that sometimes I have thought, well, maybe what I teach is very superficial, but it is so not, because there's so much depth to it. I work with my clients on the way they show up, the way they present themselves in person and physical being. Now, of course, we work on styling and clothing and all that stuff. But more important than that, the biggest body of my work is posture, body language, and vocal expression. Because only 7% of our communication is the actual words that we speak. What people read from us, what they feel from us, what they comprehend from us, how they perceive us, is 93% body language, so nonverbal communication, and vocal tone.
Wow, that's so powerful.
Yeah, not only that, most of my teachings is based on the fact that, look, if we live with poor posture, poor movement patterns, a lot of things happen. Number one, we create pain in our bodies. When we're in pain, we are grumpy, we're irritable, we don't feel happy, we feel crappy, right? All that stuff come with pain. And I'll tell you from studies and experience, 90% of people who struggle with lower back pain, neck pain, any type of pain, it's usually can be related to their posture or the way they move, right?
Yeah.
So my number one goal is to eliminate that discomfort so we can be joyous and be happy. But also, when we have poor posture, we can't breathe properly. Our lungs are shut off. We shut off all the meridians in our body. The chakras get shut off. We can go into all the energy and the woo-woo stuff. There's so much related to that. So that when you do the simple act of just becoming really aware of your posture and understand how to correct it, you are literally changing the chemical composition of your body. So you're secreting different hormones in your brain. And as you know from our discussion last times, and it's becoming a way more known fact that using powerful posture creates more testosterone, endorphins, and dopamine in our bodies, which are all our happy and power hormones. Yeah. Whereas, and it decreases the cortisol levels, which is our stress hormone. So physically, actually, the hormones change in your brain when you change your posture and the way you move. So that alone is super empowering.
It is.
If you just understand, hey, I'm going to this network meeting, or I'm meeting with a prospective client, or whatever it may be, or I'm going on a first date.
Mm-hmm.
If I just sit up straight, I'm going to be able to breathe better. I'm going to look brighter, more powerful. I'm going to seem that way. And all this hormonal stuff happening in my brain, which really literally makes me feel more confident.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so powerful. And this is actually reminding me, because in the mindset standpoint, one of the things that I've learned and that I apply is you're responsible for telling yourself better things. You're responsible for thinking more empowering thoughts and saying more empowering words. But then if you understand that you're also responsible for having a more empowering stance and a more empowering posture, because you are, and knowing that that sends the signal to your brain and to your whole body and all that you are, that that you are amazing, instead of just letting those outside circumstances dictate how you feel. Like, it's a game changer. It changes everything. And it's like you said, it seems superficial because it's so easy, but the things that work are so simple and so easy. We just don't do it.
All right, exactly. And it all works together, and it all works the same way. So when you're talking about the inner game, this vision and the goal setting, and you're talking about the affirmations and the meditation and the prayer or whatever it may be you're doing, and you're talking about being aware of your language, the way you talk to others, the way you talk to yourself, and you add the body piece to that, I mean, wow, really?
Yes.
And the easiest way I explain it to people too is just like our body language gets affected by the way we feel, we can affect the way we feel by changing our body posturing. And it's as simple as that. And then if you add all the other things on top of that, you are unstoppable.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And that's what we want. So I love that so much. Well, tell us how you work with clients on that capacity. And then I do want you to share a little bit more about Achieve and have people get to know what it is. And
absolutely. Thank you, Marta. Yes. So I have a couple of entry-level programs that I love sharing with new clients or people who just want to experience what I do. I laughed when I met you because I know you have the Show Up Empowered program.
Yes.
And I had my Show Up program. I'm like, okay, there's synergy here. We really feel the same thing. My program is just called Show Up. It's the Show Up program. And basically, really it is about everything we just talked about, plus some. And then I also have my Speak Up and Level Up program. I'm also a speaker coach. I like to call myself a speaker director more than a speaker coach because I have people who help my speakers with crafting their message. Okay. And once they've crafted their message, I'm really the one that works on the presentation skills, getting up on stage, combating the anxiety and the fear that comes along with it, understanding how to express yourself with body language, with the way you show up, branding yourself, as well as the ebbs and flows of your speech, right? Really, really grasping your audience's attention and putting yourself out there as your very best version of you with the right type of energy and attitude. So the Speak Up, Level Up program really is a more about how do I get started? What do I need? And then a little bit about the presentation. But on a one-on-one level, I work with my clients mostly on showing up as the very best version of who you are, stepping into your power, embodying your offer, and learning how to be magnetic so that people are drawn to you because you are the billboard for your business.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's wonderful. I think this is a beautiful segue into Achieve, because I was just thinking how when I went to my first Achieve event last year, and you were somewhat emceeing, could I say that you were the MC and calling up the speakers and getting the crowd routed up, like your presence on stage is so amazing. So I could definitely see why you would focus on helping people with having what you're going to say is half of it, is some of it, but the other part is how are you going to deliver it, which is very important, keeping people engaged, knowing the energy levels in specific spots, like building the momentum and all of that. And you do a phenomenal job with that. So wonderful.
Thank you,
Tell us more about Achieve.
I appreciate it. Okay, so Achieve Systems is a set of systems that have been put in place to support entrepreneurs. Now, let me just say this. I hope I'm not ahead of myself, but so far we've been working in the health and wellness industry mainly, but we are starting to step outside of that box a little bit. We just launching our Achieve Speaker Pro division, which is brand new. And we are now kind of moving more towards just working with any entrepreneurs. And it's really about creating a community and a safe space for entrepreneurs where they know they have support and opportunities. So far our community is built, it's growing like at a hectic rate right now, which is super exciting. And with the growth, we are adding new resources and new revenue streams every day. And it basically is coaching systems is part of what we do. So we have systems in place. We have a big online back office full of resources. And then we have a group of leaders who are there to support our members with really pretty much anything and everything that you need to grow your business. The mission that Robert had when he started this, who is now my husband, and I met him through joining Achieve because I didn't know how to grow my business. His vision was really about helping health and wellness pros because we are so heart-centered and we tend to give away our services for next to nothing. And most of us are very educated at what we do, but we have no clue how to grow a business, how to gain clients, how to market, how to sell, or even incorporate different revenue streams in our businesses. Most health and wellness professionals exchange time for money. So they're always battling keeping the doors open, earning enough, blah, 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 all that stuff.
Yeah.
So the goal was really to educate now the entrepreneur on how to get that 6+, 7+ revenue streams in your business. So you're creating passive income as well as, being able to get your message out to more people through more assets, more revenue streams, more ways. So we help people author books. We help people create education and get it CEC approved. We help speakers grow their businesses. We help spa owners license and franchise their businesses. It's just a myriad of things. It's so hard to just kind of try and explain it. But the best way I can explain it is to say that it's a support system. So everyone that joins us, it's a membership program. You own your business. You run your business the way you see fit. We are here to support you, give you the resources and the advice that you might seek or need.
I love it. It's so great. And I'll put the links in the show notes for people to go check out not only your programs, but also Achieve. And it's so fun that you're expanding beyond the health industry because the work that you guys do is so incredible. It can benefit all entrepreneurs across the board. So I love that.
I appreciate it, Marta. And I just love you. I just want to say that.
Oh, thank you. Well, I was thinking, I don't know if we did this last time, but if not, I'm going to catch you by surprise right now because I have some rapid fire questions before we close. Did we do that last time? Did we?
We did. I don't remember what they were, though. I don't remember.
Okay, great. So then it's going to be still very spontaneous because that's the goal with this. It's like I get the most confident people. And then when this moment comes, they're like, I don't know what to say. And I'm like, yay, it makes me happy to challenge somebody else.
All right, let's see what you got for me, girl.
All right. So we're going to go through these 5 little stages, which are the stages that are in my book. And you tell me whatever comes to mind, a word. You can expand on it, whatever you feel. So the first one is notice yourself.
Say again.
Notice yourself.
Notice yourself. Awareness.
Mm-hmm. Listen to yourself.
Music.
Oh, I love it. Forgive yourself.
Yeah. Wow. Absolutely. Yeah.
So
love yourself, right? Love. Let's make it think love. Self-love.
Yeah, self-love. Empower yourself.
Stand tall, be proud to wear yourself.
Yes. And last but not least, transform yourself.
Grow, envision, dream, never stop dreaming.
Mm-hmm. And go on after it.
Yeah, I'm sure this was different from last time. I
It
don't need
was.
questions.
If I ever retrieve it, I'll have to go back and see what you said. But these were
Yeah.
Love it so much. Well, thank you, Vanessa. Let us know how we can find you on social media, but I'll put everything in the show notes. So where are you at? Where do you hang out the most?
Thank you so much. I hang out the most on Facebook and Instagram. So on Facebook, you can find my group. It's called, it's facebook.com/Victory Factor. You can find me, Vanessa Raymond. I love new Facebook friends. And on Instagram, my handle is vdance04. So instagram.com/vdance04. My website is victoryinbiz.com. Feel free to reach out to me on Facebook Messenger, Insta Messenger. I'm here if you have any questions.
Amazing.
Thank you, Marta.
Well, thank you so much. This was so fun.
Isn't she amazing? Thank you so much for tuning in today. Don't forget to connect with Vanessa. The link is in the show notes. And also, be sure to connect with me. Join my Facebook group, The Empowered Woman Community. Pick up a copy of my newly published book, The Empowered Woman, The Ultimate Roadmap to Business Success. The link is also in the show notes. And I will see you next time. Bye.